I need to talk to you
now. It's your turn to question me and figure out this stuff, and I get to explain stuff.
Yeah, I need to know. Yeah,
it'll help me kind of figure out my arguments a little bit better too. You know, coming at it from a fresh perspective, somebody who's never heard of this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because this was brand new to me 2 years ago, maybe.
Wow, I mean it's brand new to me now. I'm just hearing about that.
Yeah. So all right, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Unframe of Mind show. If you watched last week's episode, you'll know that at the end of it, Stefan here had breached a topic that I have been trying forever to hold off from talking about.
Oh yeah.
We talked about so many different topics and hit on so many different, political views and philosophies and religion, and this one here, for some reason, I wanted to save it because I knew I was going to have him on for the show, so I wanted to save it, and I wanted to be able to, not have to fake the conversation, the beginning of the, it's just awkward. Nobody wants to do that. But, so to get you authentically curious and to learn about what's going on, if you don't give me my stool back.
Trying to steal this
one up. Feet on your own stool. Anyway, we're down here playing footsie. You don't even know. It's nice. It's nice. He's got nice feet. Yeah, pretty good.
Beautiful legs.
Yeah, beautiful legs.
You crazy.
Wow, this got awkward quick. Anyway, so I tried to introduce to you the idea of anarchy.
Yeah.
And the idea that... let me start with this, because when I say the word anarchy...
I mean, you need to know what's going on in my mind.
I need to know where your mind goes, because I know that anarchy means different things for different people.
Oh, yeah.
And most of it's completely wrong. So let's start with that and maybe see where you're at, and then maybe we can help bridge the gap. And
all right.
Figure out why, because everything else we've talked about, I sound pretty reasonable.
Oh yeah, I mean, spot on.
But this one here just.
I mean, I'm like, what? What are you saying?
Exactly. Like, what does that mean? Like, yeah. How can this guy have this view of that, and then everything else seems legit?
I mean, that's you spoke my mind. I'm like, I agree 100% on you on so many things. But when you say anarchy, I'm like, what are you trying to say?
What does that bring to mind when you hear that?
I mean, when I hear anarchy, what comes to my mind is lawlessness.
Mm-hmm.
Disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Breakdown. Chaos, violence. I mean, it's like no rules. Like everybody's just doing what they want to do.
Running them up.
Oh yeah. And someone says, "I want your phone now." Ain't nobody to stop him. I mean, that's what comes to my mind, and I think that. I'd always think that. I mean, I don't think any society will be able to survive without rules. I don't think so.
You're right. I agree with you. That's not anarchy.
Man, now I'm on feast, man.
So this is what pisses me off. First of all, is the level. It didn't even occur to me until I started learning about it and hearing it. What anarchy is, real simple.
Okay.
It doesn't mean no rules. There's just one more letter you're missing. It means no rulers. It just means you don't have one guy at the top of the totem pole telling everybody else how to live their life and try to control them. It doesn't mean you can't have leaders. It doesn't mean you can't have people in positions of authority.
Okay.
Legitimate authority.
Legitimate, I like that.
Yeah. Is a fine distinction.
Okay. Okay.
But you do still have rules. You have to have rules.
Okay.
I mean, society's not going to function, as you said, without rules.
I mean,
and that's what pisses me off is that simple idea helps me out, because it helps me be able to maintain the same principles throughout everything I believe. It helps me to apply certain things like, don't initiate force. The non-initiation of force is one of the big ones for me. It's called the NAP, or the non-aggression principle. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, I mean, you told me that. I heard about it first time from you, man.
Yeah. So basically, just to refresh, is that just means it is wrong. It is immoral for me to initiate force on you. Okay, I can defend myself if you're attacking me, but it's immoral for me to attack you or to attack ever.
Oh, like, are you saying that, like, enforce you to do something?
Yeah, for me to force you to do anything is immoral. I can try to persuade you to do it. I can maybe even try to maybe twist your arm a little bit, so to speak. Try to guilt you into it. I can try to ostracize you until you decide to do it, which you still have the choice. No matter which of those mechanisms I use, you still have a choice. But if I come to you with the state power and I tell you that this is the law, this is how it's going to be, and you can't do anything about it, now all of a sudden I'm using force against you. I'm just using the government, or I'm using the elite political force, or whatever you call it in whatever country you're in. I'm using that as a tool to get you to do what I want you to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But I have two questions. First.
Only two?
I mean, first. I got many, but let me start with this two.
Well, let me finish my point real quick, and I'll give you a question. But what I was saying is it's that level of propaganda that people have been fed through the media, through television shows and movies, that when you hear anarchy, you also associate that with all the imagery you just painted.
Oh, yeah.
And it took me a while to wipe that away and be like, okay, maybe that's not really what it is. Maybe it's possible, because as long as that image is in your head, you don't even think of it as an option.
I mean, you're gonna reject it right away.
Yeah. So that's what most people do. They just government solution, got it. Anarchy, no. Even though empirically you can see the proof that government is it's not solving problems.
Oh yeah,
it's making them worse.
I mean, I don't disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, and nobody does. Like, you can't find anybody that will disagree with you that their politicians are corrupt, the government's corrupt, people, you have a corruptible a system that's able to be corrupted, and then you have people who are corrupt drawn to it because there's an incentive to be corrupt in it. Like, hello, but everybody's so convinced that that's better than the alternative, anarchy. Nobody wants that. That'd be crazy.
I mean, that's where I stand. I mean, I always think that. I mean, I don't think the present government we practice is the best system. I mean, everybody knows that things can be better. Yeah. But then when you present anarchy, I'm like, okay, that looks like another extreme to me.
It does.
That's how it looks to me. I'm like, okay, so how do we survive without a government? How do we function?
So were those your two questions, or what was your question?
I mean, okay, my first question is that, I mean, how do we... I mean, the reason why they're rulers is because they're rules. Rulers are supposed to be... I mean, the ideal ruler or leader is supposed to be someone that ensures that rules are followed. I ain't talking about government now. I'm talking about an ideal leadership society, an ideal...
So you're saying, I guess to rephrase your question, you're asking how do we maintain order, or how do we enforce rules in a...
Since we both agree now that our society has to have rules.
Yeah.
Now, how do we make people follow rules? I mean, people are gonna try. It's just natural for some people to just want to be unruly. Some people just don't want to follow the rules, putting other lives in danger, inconveniencing other people. People are going to try to do that. So how do we make sure that people follow rules?
So let's maybe try to come up with a concrete example we can work with, practically. What would be a rule that you would be concerned that people would just break and just do whatever they want with no consequences? Like, let's pick a specific rule or law that you think would be...
Trying to look for one that, cuts across everybody. I mean, there are many rules. I mean, drunk driving is one.
Okay, we can take drunk driving.
Okay, start with that.
Let's try drunk driving. Let's see. Oh, turn towards you here a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So, drunk driving. Let me think about that for a second. How would that be discouraged, I guess?
If there were no penalties for drunk driving, a lot of people... I'll probably drive drunk too someday. I mean, sometimes I'll probably like to go to the club, get drunk, and still think... it's human for you to think that, I can just get home. It's just 2 miles, just 3 miles. Excuse me. I can struggle. I can get home. I can try to stay awake.
Yeah, I can make it. That's fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah, and that's how people get into accidents,
right.
But because of the rules, because of the penalties attached to that, I'll think twice before going to the wheels if I'm drunk.
So imagine being allowed to discriminate legally.
You need to explain that.
I do.
Yeah.
phrased it like that on purpose because it sounds a little crazy.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's say that you have a tendency to drive drunk, and everybody knows it because he's always drunk. He's always driving home. People know it. People talk. Gossip spreads. So what if I was allowed to discriminate against you and decide, say I'm a business owner, for example, well, I know such and such, he keeps drinking all the time. I don't want nobody to get hurt. I'm not going to do business with him until he changes his ways. I'm just not going to do business with him.
Yeah, but
maybe I'm your local water company.
Yeah, that sounds good. But then
and now I'm not going to supply water to your house until I'm not going to give you water, and I'm not going to supply you with that until
I stop driving.
Yeah, until or a lot of people or even everybody else who's gossiping is contacting you saying, why are you servicing this guy? He's a menace to our society. He's causing problems. We're not going to purchase your water if you're going to keep serving him. It's like people can have sway, and they can have
no.
It's the power of ostracism, is what it is. It's if you can maybe isolate people for a while from the things that they hold dearest, or they want, the services that they need to survive. Basically, you can actually have a lot of sway over people's behavior and try to get them back in line with the societal norms. It's an interesting way to go about it, but it's incredibly powerful, and it used to be the way that it was done.
Yeah, my challenge with that is that it's too open-ended. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Open-ended?
Yeah.
So let's say you actually do drink and drive and you get in an accident.
People die or something.
Yes, you killed somebody.
And let's assume we're trying to make sure a lot of people don't do business with you. But if I got a company and I also like to drink and drive, I'm going to do business with you. I don't care what people say. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of many examples.
Yeah, because...
Now to be fair, one of the things that struck me the most, no matter what we're talking about, if we agree that that government and force is immoral, then you have to try to say, okay, I may not know all the answers and all the solutions.
Oh yeah,
but, they also didn't know all the ways they were going to pick cotton before they ended slavery. It's like if it's wrong, we stop it, and then we figure out how to solve it.
How to solve it.
Who knew that we would have giant combine machines and harvesters and stuff to replace the man that does it, way more efficiently. That being said, at this point, it's just kind of brainstorming. Okay, how can we actually solve the problem? What do we actually do? So, one of the good solutions I've heard is to have what's called a dispute resolution organization, which would kind of replace what you think of as like the police force.
Oh,
they would be tasked with, handling these issues as they happen.
They can stop you.
They could arrest you. They could put you in jail for a while, but that would also be because maybe the group's already agreed to it. You've already signed a contract, or you have service through it, and everybody around you has service through it. I don't feel like I'm being clear enough.
I feel you. I know what you're trying to say.
Let's say I want to start up a dispute resolution organization in my local community.
Who is going to control that?
Oh, let me tell you. So I would run it like an insurance company, where I would go house to house and say, hey, we're starting up a DRO here. We're trying to collect some money and figure out if anybody's interested in our service. We got better prices than the other guy. We'll make sure we've got this great track record of being safe. Whatever. It's just $5 a month, and we'll be the ones to patrol this local block or whatever, however it is. And then you get enough people to pay for it. Now you've got enough money to pay for the salaries of the people that are working. Their incentive is to keep crime from happening. Because if crime does happen, let's say somebody breaks into your house and steals something, and it was my job to make sure that didn't happen. Well, now I've got to pay out to you like an insurance company would to cover the damages, because you've been paying me monthly to
keep me safe.
Almost like a protection insurance kind of thing.
That sounds good.
And so my incentive is to make sure that crime doesn't happen to begin with. Not to, like it is now, respond to crime after it happens, punish people after it happens. You actually have to be proactive about trying to stop it.
Yes, sir.
So I might try to do certain things to make sure that maybe I can... I would be more interested in looking at the numbers to figure out what things correlate to cause this, what maybe we talk to the parents. Maybe we have children, parents of children take a special class, because a lot of this crime is happening from 16, 17, 18-year-olds, or I don't know. I don't know what the specifics would be, but it would be, my incentive would be in the right place, and it would minimize things like the drunk driver down the road from happening, because it's more of a long-term solution. You see, this would be something that would have to be slowly implemented, and society would have to be raised to live this way. It's a very different way of thinking.
So more of prevention than punishment.
Right. Prevention, like they say, is worth a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's like it costs way more money to solve problems after the fact. Of course, if I'm a dispute resolution organization, I'm also not worried about victimless crimes like smoking pot. I'm not going to, there's no victim there. That would be silly for me to try to stop people from smoking pot.
I mean,
or selling it, or buying it, or who gives a crap? But for crimes in which there's a victim, I can't, there's no victim in drunk driving, okay?
Until an accident happens.
There is a victim now. Now, if we can prevent the behavior ahead of time, maybe say, I don't know. I'm just brainstorming, trying to figure this out.
I get
how would you solve it? But let's say maybe you start you charge people, and they take a drunk driving class to teach them, I don't know, whatever you would do, and as a result, if they do that, they get a discounted price on their coverage. Maybe
some kind of
instead of paying $10 a month, now they only pay $8 a month, because I know they've already been through this class. They already agreed not to drink and drive, and if they do, it's going to cost them more. Or whatever. It's just so many different ways. It's just trying to retrain the brain to think of private market solutions. How do we solve it without somebody else being the final authority and
decision maker?
Yeah, you do it because I said. How do you solve the problems without resorting to putting it off on a government agency?
Yeah,
it's challenging. It really is.
It is. I mean, we got to all sit down and overhaul a lot of things. I mean, we're used to having someone tell us what to do, and it's not the right thing. I agree with you on that one, because I mean, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. People are going to misjudge you. People are going to put a lot of sentiments and all that. So yeah, I agree with you. It's just that it's a whole different game entirely. I mean, just thinking about it, like, how do we even?
It's crazy. but I mean, it just takes away the whole force, the initiation of force element that I was talking about before, that non-aggression principle. It's like, if you can take that element out, if you can make people behave in such a way that's beneficial for society without putting a gun to their head to make them do it, like, wouldn't that be so much better? Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, and it's not like it's never been done before. I mean, anarchy itself is probably not been done because there's always been some kind of controlling force, at least as far as I know of, or as long as I can remember. But what's interesting is, I just learned this today, a matter of fact, there's some groups that are trying to put together small little enclaves of anarchists villages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're actually using like cryptocurrencies and stuff to fund their transactions and stuff. They don't have they have a decentralized currency. They have a decentralized form of rules making. It's very interesting that they're trying these experiments and they're finding places they can do it. Of course, they're not here in the United States, because that's illegal. Yeah, good luck with that. But it is interesting to see people actually trying to figure it out, and there's been a couple failures, of course, because they just executed it wrong or what have you. But I mean, people are trying. It gives me hope. Thinking that maybe there is hope. Maybe people kind of get it. I don't know. Again, it seems like crazy.
It's crazy, but
just to retrain your brain to try to consider it as even maybe possible. It took me a while.
It's almost impossible to think it's possible.
Yeah, and if you look at today, it's like, okay, that great, Daniel, that's true and all that sounds amazing, but how do we get there? That's the question. How do we get there? Because if you look at where we're at now versus where we want to be.
I mean, how do we get there? How do we get to a time where we don't have someone telling you what to do, where to sit, where to stand?
Yeah.
How to work, how much to earn?
How do you convince people, first of all, that government is obsolete? How do you convince them that the public school system is obsolete? How do you convince them that the current money that's in their pocket is obsolete? It's being propped up artificially.
I mean, yeah.
It's going. I think it's going to happen eventually.
Oh, really?
But I don't think we're going to like the way we get there. I have a strong feeling we're not going to like it.
Oh.
It's going to be. It's It's like you just want to. You're in a plane it's going to crash, but it's like either it's going to crash slowly by the pilot bringing it in and kind of saving it a little bit, or it's just going to smash full frontal into the side of a cliff
and kill everybody.
I don't even know.
I mean, that's part of the option.
So does that help clear things up?
Oh yeah.
Just.
I mean, now I understand where you're coming from.
I know if anybody could be able to wrap their mind around it, it'd be you. That's why I really wanted to have you on to talk about it, because you already kind of seem to be kind of leaning toward that arena already.
Oh yeah.
It's just you hadn't connected the ideas just yet.
I mean, because like you said, I know people are good. I know people want to do good. I mean, nobody wants to be stolen from. You know, everybody wants to protect the family and all that. Sure. People will do what they need to do to keep what they cherish safe. So
yeah, absolutely.
So I think I mean, decentralizing the control system, I think will actually make it better. But it's just, how do we do it?
How do we do it? That's the question. Sorry, I don't have no idea. I really don't.
I mean,
I got some general ideas. I mean, if I'd be so bold as to take the idea from Stefan Molyneux, what his particular solution was more of a multi-generational solution. Where you focus on parenting, where you focus on raising the kids peacefully in a non-authoritarian parenting style. Because right now, the way people parent, it kind of conditions kids to be accepting of a controlling power.
To get used to someone telling you what to do.
Yeah. So you kind of get used to that. I'm not saying just let kids run amok, be free, do whatever they want to do, but there's got to be less of the violence in parenting. I think there's got to be a lot less of, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to hit you, or I'm going to make you rue the day you lived. You're just like Jesus. Can we just talk to the kid and just maybe try to work something out here? I mean, kids are smart, man. They love learning about this stuff. They're really smart.
Yeah.
And they get it. They're not stupid. Just hold them to the same rules you hold yourself to. I mean, it's not that hard. But anyway, the idea is if you can start there, and if you can raise kids to question authority and to be able to not just accept authority and control as the way it is, that maybe in a few generations you might see something more of an anarchic society, or what's called a voluntarist society, or maybe a free society.
I mean, that sounds way better than anarchy. I mean, we've been filled with so much information of what anarchy means that at the mention of the word anarchy, you're scared already. Anarchy?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are trying to rebrand it. I've been hearing of voluntarism.
Yeah, free society, all those things.
Free society, stateless society is a good one.
Yeah, this one sounds better.
I like those terms as well, but I mean, you can use synonyms. It's still anarchy. I mean, it's just a branding problem.
Without
yeah, anarchy's got a huge marketing issue right now, a branding issue.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so much movies and all that. I mean, what they present about anarchy is not something.
People just automatically picture Mad Max.
I mean, just
desolate wasteland.
Let's picture people killing each other and all that.
The whole place is lit by fire because we can't have electricity anymore. Jesus, guys, come on.
I mean, it makes more sense to me now. I mean, the first time we discussed it, I was like, okay, what is this dude saying? I thought he was a cool guy. This.
He's
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think I buy the idea now.
Look, I'll tell you right now, if anarchy was a Mad Max style world, I wouldn't last a day.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
You see me? I'm not like a huge guy, I'm just not.
Somebody's just gonna come and take your car.
I mean, I'm not exceptionally strong, I got bad eyesight. She smashed my glasses. I'm screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say.
Nothing looks cool. You know, I got a little bald spot on top of my head. Nothing looks cool about that.
No, you look cool.
I mean, you can't put a leather jacket on that and make it cool. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you look good. You know, you look good. What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it makes a whole lot of sense now. I get where you're coming from, because truth be told, we've seen so much issues from control. The more we try to control people, the harder it's become.
Yeah, nobody wants to be. Who wants to be controlled?
Looks like the more we try to control, the more.
I would love to be guided. I would
love not controlled.
I would love to be coached,
mentored.
Yeah, those are the rules of what a parent should be. I think but to be controlled. I don't think that's what the role of a parent needs to be, and it ends up showing up in the grand scheme of things through government.
And I think control brings out the bad side of people. When you control people, because how do you explain why crime gets higher and higher? Crime rate keeps getting higher. There's more control, and people keep committing crimes.
Yeah, especially when the controlling powers define certain things as crimes that in a free society would not be considered crimes.
Yes, sir.
Like prostitution would not be considered a crime. It's a victimless crime.
Nobody will care what you do with your body.
If I want to pay somebody else to,
who cares?
That's not any business, first of all. I love how Joe Rogan talks about it. It's like you can pay to go get a massage, and you can be laying there naked on a bed and they're rubbing you up and down. But as soon as they start,
jerking.
Yeah, as soon as they do that, now it's illegal. Nope, can't do that. Nope.
That's prostitution. Oh yeah,
or you can go have sex with anybody you want for free, but as soon as you start trying to charge for it, no, we can't have that. That's illegal now. No.
I think I get where you're coming from. And like I said, I think it's just a kind of control, just the government trying to be in control of everything.
Yeah. So to wrap up, let me ask you guys. Did anything of what I said make any sense to you at all? Or anybody that's kind of new to the idea of anarchy and it's nice to be able to have an opportunity to kind of spread out or spill out a little more of why I feel the way I feel about these things. But what do you think? What would a free state or a stateless society look like? Is that even something that ever even crossed your mind? And if not, why not? You might think about that. Why hasn't it crossed your mind? So just hit me up in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And I do appreciate you coming and hanging out with me for a little while. I look forward to doing it again, man.
Oh, yeah. It's a pleasure, man. Right. So glad to be here.